What up, everybody? Doing our sound check, getting the stream shared everywhere. What's going on, my peoples? Mic check, mic check. Make sure everybody can hear me good. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Make sure everybody can hear me good. Mic check, mic check. What's going on, everybody, man? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I told you guys we gonna get to work this season, man. We back to doing the live streams. We'll be doing the podcast on Thursdays, and we're gonna get to work this year, man. We're gonna stay at work. I miss doing this. I love doing this, man. I love doing the podcasting, radio broadcasting, all of it. I love speaking to you guys, giving knowledge, giving game. One second, guys. I'm just trying to make sure we share it to the Facebook group. Let's get to work. Let's get to work, everybody. Let's get to work. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. We getting everything up and going, man. Preseason week 1, man. There's a lot of things that we got to point out, man. We gonna get started here. Probably about the let's go to the 5-minute mark. We can let some people get in here, man. Hey, if you guys have any questions, man, start posting those questions in the chat. We are doing a better job of keeping up with the group chat too. What's up, everybody? What up? What up? Thanks for tuning in, man. Much love. I appreciate you all. We gotta start back over, man, but we're gonna be grinding. We're gonna be grinding this season, man. I was a little selfish the last couple of seasons. I didn't want to give out too much game, man, because people were taking too many of my picks and my thoughts and using it on their shows. And obviously, they're not going to give you credit for it. They're just going to take what you say and use it. But, I got over that, man. It's God's will, so we're just going to keep rolling. Yo, so, like I said, we're going to start here in about another minute or so. Just get everything warmed up, man. Get some people in. Like I said, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Ask them in the chat. We're gonna have a little quick session today. Go over the preseason week 1 schedule. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It was some things that I saw that I really enjoyed, man. So we back to doing the live streams. We're gonna break down each game like we did a couple of seasons ago. We're gonna get down and gritty again this season, man. It's back to being dub season, man. It's back to being dub season. I love you all, man. I love everyone that supports us, that's a part of the crew, that's been in the group since day one. We've just done. It's been a blessing, man. We ain't done nothing but grown since day one. I remember the group started off. We only had like 5 to 10 people. Then it took off to 100. Then 100 turned into 200. 200 turned into 400. Then we got to 500. And the numbers have decreased a little bit here lately. And I blame myself. Ain't nobody. I blame myself, man. I haven't been as active. I've been a little stingy with my insights, and I do apologize, you guys. So we're gonna get back to work. Forget it. People want to steal the stuff, they can steal it. But at the end of the day, man, you guys who tune in, y'all know where it's coming from. So it's all love, man. It's all love. So we're gonna get started here in about 15 seconds, guys, man. Just chill out and let's get it. Got everything up and rolling. Here we go. Man, shout out to everybody in Houston. Yo, 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 what's up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Dub C back with the EAB Tab Nation, the Angry Vets Fantasy Football Podcast. It's nothing but love. Shout out to all my vendors out there, man. Thank you for everybody taking those sacrifices to serve this country. Because I know sometimes this country don't want to serve us, man. But it's nothing but love from over here. Anyways, got out the way, man, for my family. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. As we were saying earlier in the podcast, I can't say thank you enough for all the blessings, man. I've just seen this group take off and just grow to the number that it is now. And I do apologize, you guys, because last season I was being sort of stingy with my information. I was calling myself being super competitive. And, yeah, I made it to the championship in my league, and then karma hit me because I ended up losing like about 1 point, man. So it is what it is. We back this season, and we're in live and in full effect. I'm helping you guys take the dubs this year, man. We back. We back. We're ready. Let's get it crack-a-lacky. So, if for you that didn't pay attention to the title, we are talking about preseason week 1. I know I still got my boy Aaron Rodgers back in the background with the Packers uniform. All my Jets fans are like, what is he doing? What is he doing? I know. I get it, man. I just like this picture, man. It's just like the man is cold, man. He's like my persona. Just relax, man. RELAX, relax. Daddy Dub is back in the driver's seat. So let's get it rolling. Shout out to all my brothers that helped us get to this point as well, man. I have not forgotten about them. And anybody that's wondering, there's all love, man. None of us broke off because of anything hostile or, any animosity or jealousy, anything like that. It was just, my brothers are busy. A lot of them are still serving. They're trying to progress their career. And at the end of the day, man, their military career is a lot more important than us doing this fantasy football thing. So I'm going to keep grinding on my own, man. Nothing but love for my brothers. Shout out to all of them. Hager, Alex, my boy Riley, Cody. Man, you guys already know. All of you guys is nothing but love, man. Everybody helped us get to this point. And I really just pray, man, if it's God will, we're going to just keep growing, man, and keep taking this thing to the top. So with that being said, man, let's get down to the nitty gritty. We are going to get back to work this season, man. We're going to start doing the live videos during the week. Start still kicking out the podcast on Thursdays. It will be on Thursdays this year before the Thursday night games. I had to align with my schedule and everything I have going on in life, but podcast will be on Thursdays. I'll be doing lives on weeknights, likely on Mondays like we're doing today, and probably Wednesdays. We'll go down and break down schedules. I'll have the full rundown for you guys coming up soon. Like I was saying earlier in the video, if you guys have any questions about coming up in fantasy football season, the draft season is upon us. You have any questions about any players, please comment in the section below, in the comment section, and I will get to your questions, man. We're going to get them answered. So starting off, this game right here, I'm actually excited about starting off with this New England Patriots game because not only did we get to see Drake May, who did absolutely hardly anything, Joe Milton, man, that dude just looks phenomenal. And I didn't try to get too headstrong and I didn't try to get too excited, but I have been hearing a lot of rumors out of camp that Joe Milton could push Drake May for that starting role. And the Patriots are trying to hold off on that because obviously they spent a lot of draft capital on Drake May. But at this point, I would look at it if I was the Patriots as, all right, so what? We took the wrong person in the first round, but they're both rookies on rookie contracts. Let's just let the player that's the better play. And Joe Milton, he was going to get second and third stringers. For my guys out there that's going to say something, I get it. But the man looked great. And I'm not talking about the easy touchdown throw that he got to make where the dude was wide open. Just running the ball, spreading the ball around. He looked really good. That arm strength, if you guys followed him at Tennessee, the arm strength was always there. Everybody just questioned if he could be accurate and if he could develop his accuracy. And honestly, you know who that reminds me of? Who had that same kind of knock about him coming into the NFL? My boy Cam Newton. And you guys know I love Cam Newton. Cam's a dog. Joe Milton looks a lot like Cam Newton. He ain't got the same body size as Cam Newton. Like, he's not thick like Cam Newton. Pause. But he has the same arm strength. He has a lot of mobility. So I don't know. Going into the season, if Bailey Zappi gets to start, I don't know if we don't see Joe Milton later on in the season. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because fantasy football purposes, we could get a new scrambling quarterback in for the Patriots. They already have a pretty tight rushing game. So we don't know what we're going to see out of this new coaching staff. So I'm keeping my eye out on that situation to see what happens there. Now, Carolina, we didn't get to see Mr. Bryce Young, play in this game. And that's okay. We'll see him this weekend for sure. But I want you guys to check something. Coming into this weekend, make sure to pay attention to Bryce Young and the Deontay Johnson connection. I'm giving y'all some insight. I am huge on Deontay Johnson. I think that he's going to get a lot of balls his way, as many as he could take, to be honest with you. It sounds so weird to say. But anyways, I really think he's going to get a lot of reception. If you remember Deontay Johnson in Pittsburgh, if he gets a lot of receptions, he's going to put up some pretty decent numbers. Right now, ADP-wise, I think Deontay Johnson is going around 7 and 8. That's really late, and I'll take that because he could be a high upside receiver too. And we know that Bryce Young last year, Adam Thielen was putting up receiver 1 numbers some weeks. Like, come on, Adam Thielen, high-end receiver 2 numbers. What do you think a speedy Deontay Johnson is going to do? Stats have shown that Deontay Johnson, I can't remember who I got these stats from, and I do apologize. If you posted it, man, hey, shout out to you, man. I'll love. But Deontay Johnson last year was one of the highest rated receivers for separation. So when it came to man-on-man defenders, he was getting separation. That means Bryce Young is going to find him often. Guys, do not sleep on Deontay Johnson coming this season. I'm ready to see what that connection is going to look like this weekend. You got to let Bryce Young get some playing time. He'll probably get one drive this weekend with Deontay Johnson. Just a tune-up game. They won't do too much. The preseason is a lot shorter this year, so we're not going to get a full out like 4 weeks where players will sit out 1 or 2 weeks. So we'll get some Bryce Young action. Might even get a whole quarter of them. We'll see how they look. Bryce Young, it's sort of crazy to say this, but I really sort of feel like it's make or break this season for him. Because if he has another season like he did last year, it wasn't just tumultuous, but it wasn't the greatest. Like sort of towards the end of last year, he started heating up a little bit. So we'll see. But if he has another bad season, I think Carolina fans are going to start, like, hey, let's just take our losses and let's start looking at Shakur Stevens. I'm telling you guys, I'm Sanders, Shakur Sanders. I'm thinking of boxing, but Shakur Sanders. I'm big on Shakur Sanders. I'm ready to see what he's going to do at Colorado, and not because of prime time. I just like him as a quarterback. But there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out this season, man. So shout out to there. Next game, we have the Lions versus Giants. If you guys have not heard, there is some bad news coming out of Detroit, and I'm super, super, disappointed because my boy Jahmyr Gibbs went down with what it is looking like to be a hamstring injury. And we all know, if you guys know me, you've been following me in fantasy football these last few years, I do not take players that are dealing with hammies coming into the season. I do not. Especially this close to the season. Those hammy issues can last for an entire season. And we might say, oh, well, he's playing. But here's the thing. That bad boy can flare up at any second. Now, if you know anything about the human body or muscle physiology and those kind of things, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the wisest in that series, in that in that realm. But if you know anything about them hamstrings and fast players that have those fast twitch muscles and that need to get in and out of their cuts really quick because they're already smaller, that can flare up any second. If it is coming to be like a pretty significant injury with the hammy, I'm staying away. Jahmyr Gibbs is all of the talent in the world, but I just got to stay away from it, guys. That's just who I've been. If you follow me, you know I stay away from anything with hammies. So we're going to have to find out and see what's happening with that situation. If he is out, guys, let's pull up their roster. If he is out, I want to see who they have behind Mr. Montgomery back there. We'll pull up Sleeper here. Shout out to everybody. Also in the comments, man, you listening to the live stream, let me know what fantasy football platform you're using. I really enjoy Sleeper, but I do get why some people are saying it's a little bit too complicated and too hard to use. I think honestly, to me, Sleeper is getting to the point where it's almost spoon feeding people. It gives them all the information they need, and people don't have to go and look for research. So it's making it a little bit easier. So yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs suffered a hamstring injury on Monday's practice. Gibbs was removed from practice early Monday, and the severity of the hamstring injury is unknown. He will likely undergo further testing. The Lions still provide a potential timeline on his return to practice soon. If he misses any weeks, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm just staying away from me. Hammies are too big of an issue for me. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I was coming in the season big on Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to have a huge season, but I'm staying away. Especially for the first-round value you got to get for him. I'm not doing it. So David Montgomery, Greg Reynolds. I mean, after Jahmyr Gibbs, man, it's not really much there to really look at. Now, I always tell you guys, and it's sort of funny, I always bring this up, like every fantasy football season, there's those one players who just, we're not going to call them vultures per se, but whenever you see them on the lineup or in the roster, it feels like the players ahead of them get hurt. Jonathan Knight is becoming one of those players, man. It seems like every year the starting running back gets hurt, and we see a little bit of Jonathan Knight. I don't know what it is. Jake Funk too, but in this situation, you do have Craig Reynolds. David Montgomery is going to get a lot of carries, man. I would grab David Montgomery. I think ADP for David Montgomery right now. That's the only thing I don't like about Sleeper. It doesn't show like ADPs, but I don't know what round David Montgomery's going right now, but this will move him up a little bit if Jameer injury is pretty significant. But Craig Reynolds, he's been in the league for a while, but yeah. So I mean, I'm just going David Montgomery right there. Even if Jameer Gibbs only misses a couple of weeks, I'm still going to try to grab David Montgomery because I feel like that. I'm telling you, that hammy issue. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions start winning those first couple of weeks. They got a shootout with the Rams for week 1. It could be a pretty good shootout with Tampa Bay week 2. Arizona, we'll see what Arizona's going to do this year. And then Seattle's going to be a dogfight. And let's say they just let Jameer Gibbs ride it out to week 5 and just keep him on, let's say they put him on PUP or something else to let him rest. That's 5 weeks out here, man. You taking a huge risk week 1. You could be potentially 1-5, 2-3 at that point. And 2-3 isn't that bad, but if you 0-5, man, you hurt. So I would take David Montgomery, man. He's going to get a lot of carries. I don't know what his ADP is right now, and I don't have time to look that up, but I will get back to you guys. Giants, it wasn't really anything to see on the Giants side. Now, they did lose their receiver there. We all were expecting their rookie as well to make some big plays, to get some big carries, but he did go down with the injury as well. And I do apologize, guys. I went down. Let me see here. Where we at? I'm pulling the blank for his name, but regardless, their rookie went out with the injury as well. We will see if what kind of injury he's dealing with. Let's see if we can find the name real quick. 1 second here to see. Anyways, guys, so you guys already know what I'm talking about. For some reason, I'm going blank, and I do apologize there, but we won't see the Lions rookie receiver for a little bit. Let me see. Actually, I know how to pull it up. We'll go to right here. Receivers. Oh, Malik Neighbors. There we go. I don't know why I went blank. So he's considered day-to-day. Monday, that Neighbors' ankle is sore and considerable day-to-day. So it's just an ankle sprain. I'll deal with an ankle sprain coming into the season. You can rest that and be good to go. Hammies, I'm not dealing with. So you might get Malik Neighbors a little bit later. I know right now he was moving into rounds 4. Early round 4, puts him a little bit around 3 or late 5, early 5, I should say. So I like him right there. It's not really much of an option. I mean, much of a battle. You do have Wan'Dale Robinson that looked good towards the late part of the season last year. But other than that, Darius Slayton, he's older. Jalen Hyatt, I don't know what happened to Jalen Hyatt, man. He had a lot of knocks coming out of Tennessee that, they ran that offense where he didn't have to come off the line of scrimmage and he didn't have to really blow off, or get past the defender. And I don't know, Jalen Hyatt just he was drafted pretty high last year, but nobody's really talking about him in the offseason. And I don't know. So right here, man, here we go. Falcons. I know a lot of you guys didn't agree with me what the Falcons did when they drafted Michael Penix, but look, 9 for 16, 104 yards, and he looked pretty dang good. He didn't run the ball that much. He was just making passes. We didn't see a lot of Pitts. We didn't get to see Drake London, obviously, and we didn't see Kirk Cousins. For the Atlanta Falcons, I already told you guys on the other podcast and on the other live feed, I am high on Michael Pitts this year. I want to get Michael Pitts. If I can get him in the 5th round, I'm an ecstatic, man. I'm excited. I think Kyle Pitts is going to take that next step up with Kirk Cousins. And if Kirk Cousins can't go, let's say for a little bit he gets hurt again, who is the number 1 friend of a rookie quarterback? The tight end. We've seen it time and time again. It's tested, man. One of the biggest key weapons for a rookie quarterback is the tight end, especially a tight end that can get open that causes mismatches. They usually hone in on those guys because they're the biggest ones on the field, and they're the shortest distance to make a quick throw and a quick read. I I like Kyle Pitts, no matter the situation this year. I'm big on him. Miami Dolphins, nothing. You already know what the game plan is there. Now we do have Jalen Wright. I did want to talk about Jalen Wright. Now, a lot of people are going higher and higher on Devin Achane. I get why. Devin Achane was fantastic last year for that little stretch that he was able to play. You can't forget that Achane is a smaller running back. Can he keep consistent for an entire season? Can he take that entire season beating? We don't know. But when he's in there, he looks phenomenal. He looks like a playmaker. But the issue is Jalen Wright is fast. Jalen Wright is just almost as fast as A-Chain, and he has a little bit more weight to him. 210 pounds, 5'10". He was drafted round 4, pick 120. And let's see if we can find the 40-yard time. Oh, there it is. 40-yard dash 438. 40-yard dash 438. This man can move as well. Do not sleep on this man. Jalen Wright, I can't stress it, man. There's a lot of weapons on this Miami offense. I'm a, you know, it's weird. I'm a little bit ahead when it comes to Jalen Waddle. I know Tyreek Hill is still the man there, but for some reason, I'm just big on Jalen Waddle. But my thing with Jalen Waddle is he does get hurt a lot. And he doesn't get knocked for it like other people do, but Jalen Waddle gets hurt quite often, man. So I just, if he can stay healthy, I just, for some reason, I don't know. You call it that gut feeling. And you guys know when I have gut feelings, man, you know how it is. But I got a gut feeling about Jalen Waddle this year. I just think he's going to put up some big numbers. I just don't know if it's going to be top 10, but I definitely think top 15. So we'll see. You did get Tua. My man Tua got paid. He's staying with Miami for a little bit. So we'll see where that offense goes. Didn't see much in them week 1 preseason. Right here, Texans, man, look. All hell, here comes Tank Dell. My boy had a touchdown throw from C.J. Stroud, and they went and sat on the bench together, and they ate some popcorn. Listen, Tank Dell is back, and I'm excited. I told you guys I'm a little worried with Stephon Diggs being there, and then you already got your other playmakers there as well. But I think Tank Dell does come back in, and he starts making plays again with this Texans offense. I think that C.J. Stroud is trying to make a name for himself early and often, and he wants to be up there competing with Patrick Mahomes sooner than later. He's had a crazy offseason. It's sort of weird. C.J. Stroud has just been talking a lot of trash this offseason, man. Like, he's been doing a lot of videos with other players and everything else, and it's just – I don't know, man. We'll see, but he got to put his money where his mouth is. And so far, he started the season off doing that. Him and Tank Dell has the connections. We're rolling with it. Pittsburgh, I know Justin Fields is getting knocked because he fumbled the ball twice, and he didn't look that great. He went 5 for 6 for 67 yards. We'll see. We'll see. There was a lot of talk in camp that Justin Fields could come out and beat Russell Wilson. Maybe that was just his, a nervous game. He had the first game as the Steelers. You know, they have a huge legacy. So does the Bears, but we'll see if Justin Fields can calm his nerves a little bit. We'll see how Russell Wilson looks. As far as people that I'm looking for, George Pickens, he's the only real weapon they have. Calvin Austin, I told you guys to look out for in dynasty leagues. I haven't been hearing too much with Calvin Austin in the offseason. I have heard him making some plays here and there, but, nothing like, oh, you got to grab Calvin Austin. Everybody keeps pointing to George Pickens, and it's going to be his year. Pat Freiermuth. Here's the thing, and I want you guys to hear me out. If Justin Fields does end up winning that starting quarterback role over Russell Wilson, Pat Freiermuth's value goes way up. If he doesn't win and Russell Wilson stays the starting quarterback, to me, Pat Freiermuth's value goes way down. I just don't remember any tight end that was consistent with Russell Wilson at quarterback. We had a few tight ends that had some up and down games, but as far as being consistent, that was always the big play receiver. That was always the big receiver, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett downfield. And this is pretty much what Pittsburgh offense has. You got George Pickens, who's a tall, lanky receiver. He's not as big as DK Metcalf, but he's a tall, lanky receiver that can separate. And you got Calvin Austin, who could take the top off of defense. And, that's the Tyler Lockett kind of role. So the offense is set up, but I just don't see him feeding the tight ends. He just doesn't do that. He feeds his receivers a lot more. Now, Pat Freiermuth he is probably one of the better tight ends that Russell Wilson's ever played with, but will he utilize them? I'm not sure. So that is something to pay attention to, guys. If Russell Wilson does win that starting role, for me, Pat Freiermuth's value goes down. George Pickett's value goes even further up. And if Justin Fields wins the role, Pat Fryermuth's value goes way up, and George Pickens' value stays put. So that's something to look out there for. Najee Harris didn't really do too much of anything. Um, Something to look at, man, is Jalen Warren and Najee Harris had the same amount of carries. But Jalen Warren once again looked like the better back. So we'll see what happens in that backfield. I'm staying away from that backfield. I just don't like it unless I'm getting Jalen Warren really late, and I'm talking like 8, 9, 10. I'm just staying away from it. I'm not grabbing Najee, especially with two quarterbacks that like to run the ball and scramble. You know what that means for running backs in the red zone, that they usually get their looks taken away. So we'll see. Najee could have a better bounce back season, but I'm just staying away from it. I like other running backs. Now, let's get to the Eagles and Ravens. It's not really much to see here. We all knew that neither one of these teams were going to play any of their starting offensive players, and that's what they did. Nobody really played, so it's not really anything to see here. We'll see both of these offenses like full stretch this weekend. The thing to look at is Kenny Gainwell, who everybody thought that he was pushing for that second running back role, or he could push for a starter. He did get 4 carries in this game where none of the rest of the starters really played. So that is something to look at there. But other than that, it's nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here. Moving on. Moving on. We're going to get a little bit quicker. Let's see here. Commanders. Oh, man. I told you guys on the last live stream, I am pressing Jaden Daniels in the 8th, 9th round. If I can get him late, I'm grabbing him. I think he's going to be like that RG3 for the Commanders, where he's going to just make plays on his legs. He looked good this weekend. He actually did make a touchdown with his run, I believe. Yup, he did score a touchdown running the ball. He made a few good passes. Now, something to be on the lookout for as far as receivers. Yes, you got McLaurin there. I don't know how McLaurin's going to look with Jaden Daniels. He had 1 catch here for 3 yards, but he's the only person they got. I'm more looking towards the tight end. They do have Zach Ertz there. And, the offensive coordinator for the Commanders this year actually was actually the head coach was there with Zach Ertz in Arizona. And I don't know if they were together with the Eagles, but Zach Ertz, that Kyler Murray rookie year, had a phenomenal season with Kyler Murray. And I think it's going to be the same thing here with Jaden Daniels. They're going to let Jaden Daniels get his feet wet and make the easier, quicker throws, use his legs, get around a little bit, and establish the run. So Brian Robinson is going to be a huge asset this year. He might get some touchdowns vultured because of Jaden Daniels, but the good comes with the bad. But I am looking at Zach Ertz in that offense, and if I could get Terry McLaurin a little bit later, I'll take a risk. But I'm not only taking Terry McLaurin as my receiver 3 or that flex role, and maybe a higher end receiver 2 some weeks. But it's just going to be a little risky week in and week out with Terry McLaurin, who likes to get downfield and stretch the ball a little bit. Jets, we didn't see too much of that. Oh, actually, yes. Going back to the Jets, I was high on Breece Hall, but now I'm a little concerned. Braylon Allen looked really good. Like, he was hitting holes like a professional in this past game against the Commanders. Yes, preseason. Yeah, he's playing against some backups, but he looked really good, man. Like reading the blocks, making sure to be patient. And if that's the case, him and Breece Hall could become a 1-2 tandem. And that, to me, lowers Breece Hall value, because it's like, all right, how many carries are we going to actually get with Breece Hall? And how many carries is Breland Allen going to steal from Breece Hall? Is he going to start stealing some touchdowns from him? What are we going to get? So, yes, Breece Hall is still going to go, first-round pick. Some people are still taking him number 1 overall. I don't know. I want to see another week this week. We should see a little bit of Aaron Rodgers in that starting offense. And if Braden Allen is getting some carries, I might move away from Breece Hall a little bit, man. I don't know. Like, I'm paying attention to that situation. But I'm telling you guys, if you didn't see it, go check out Braylon Allen's highlights from that game. He looked really good, man. He looked really, really good. All right, so I know a lot of people were excited about this game. We finally got to see Mr. Caleb Williams play. And I am trying to drop my bias. I'm not the biggest fan of Caleb Williams, and I have my own personal vendetta for why I don't really like Caleb Williams. And it's not that I don't like him as a player. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think he's a little bit overhyped, but that's just me. And I'm dropping my bias. I looked at him with, an open mind and open eyes and said, all right, let's see what Caleb Williams looked like. And he didn't look that bad. He made some good throws. I just don't, it's too many weapons over there. And I saw him and DJ Moore connect a couple of times. I don't even know if Keenan Allen was on the field at all. I don't think he was. So we got to see DJ Moore get 3 targets, and he caught 2 of them for 27 yards. But you can't forget Keenan Allen, and then you got Rome Meduze, who he actually had the red zone target. If you go back and watch that game, um, Caleb Williams looked for Rome Meduze in the red zone, and everything coming out of camp is about Rome Meduze getting a lot of red zone targets. That's just a lot of spreading around to do. Can a rookie questions and too many question marks for me? DJ Moore was my dog last year, but I'm staying away from him this year. It's too much, it's too many iffy situations, and I just don't know if Caleb Williams is ready to carry 3 fantasy relevant receivers, yet alone 2. So we'll see. I'm staying away from that one. Cole Kmet did get a couple of looks in this game. I would take a chance with Cole Kmet maybe, but even then, like I just don't know, man. Let's wait a couple of more preseason games to see what Caleb Williams looks like and who he's looking getting the ball to. Let's see if we get some Keenan Allen action this weekend and we can see how they look together. As far as Buffalo, Josh Allen did a 2 and 3 and only went for 22 yards. We didn't see him run but one time. I told you guys, I don't know, man. After losing Stephon Diggs, that's heavy. And there's actually a interview that Josh Allen did, and he was like, "Man, losing Stephon Diggs is really bad." But I do appreciate what we have here now. And it just was like one of those things like, man, I miss Stephon Diggs. Like, and you know, it's sort of sad, like when your best friend moved away, but he's like, but yeah, I still got friends here, but they're not Stephon Diggs. And it's just like, I don't know what we're gonna get. And you know, even with Keon Coleman, he did have 3 targets, but he only caught one of those for 8 yards. And honestly, I'm a Florida State fan. I love Keon Coleman for what he did at Florida State, but I wasn't sure what he's going to be like in the NFL because a lot of the situations where Keon Coleman made his biggest plays, he was going against smaller defenders, especially in college. So now in the NFL, where he's going against people his size, I just don't know. So that's just a tricky situation. So what I've been telling everyone, and I heard a few other fantasy analysts doing the same thing, is I'm going Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, if anything. I just don't know if who's going to be the who's going to be the top dog here. I do feel like Dawson Knox takes over this year and gets more of the looks, and Dalton Kincaid drops into more of a passing sort of tight end role. But we'll see how that works. I didn't even realize I had Frank Gore Jr., so we'll see how Frank Gore Jr. looks as well. But they might start running the ball more. James Cook might get more carries, but he didn't do too much of anything in this game either. He had 4 carries and 2 yards, so that's what 0.5 yards a carry. That's terrible, especially in preseason. So we'll see what happens there. Frank Gore Jr. might end up taking over that role. So, it's still early in the preseason. Let's see these teams starting to warm up. They're starting to get used to contact. Raiders and Bears, J.J. McCarthy did, I think he threw for 2 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, it says right there. He throws the interception and 2 touchdowns in this game. I told you guys, I'm not really so much concerned about Jetta this year. I still think that Justin Jefferson this is going to be the year that he proves to us that he's quarterback proof, that whoever is the quarterback, Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, he's still going to be able to get open and get the ball. J.J. McCarthy, he made some good throws. It was against some backups, but at the end of the day, you can't knock him. He did make some good throws. We didn't see any Jordan Jefferson. We did see Jordan Addison in this game. He had 2 targets, didn't do too much of anything. And, their tight end is going to be out for the first 4 to 6 games at least. So they're going to have to throw the ball, man. Let me pull up their schedule. 1 second, guys. So I'll just go with Jefferson. Justin. Let's see how many shootouts they got those first couple weeks. Let's see. Tight end. TJ Hawkinson will be out a few weeks. So first game, New York Giants, and that could be an ugly game. Not really a shootout. San Francisco, they're going to have to put up points if they want to compete. That's against a tough defense. That could be ugly. Houston, it's got to be a shootout. They're going to score a lot of points in that game. Green Bay, same thing. They're going to, if they want to keep up, they got some shootouts in the beginning of the season. Like Giants, I'm not sure. San Francisco might end up shutting them down and holding them tight. But in Houston, I think that could be a shootout. Green Bay could definitely be a shootout, and it's at Green Bay, so Lambeau's going to be jumping. The Jets, they're going to have to play a shootout, or they're going to have to shoot out if they want to keep up, or either they'll fall behind and late in the games. So Justin Jefferson could be that trash man receiver this year. Like that receiver that we get that's on a bad team, and he just gets a whole bunch of balls because they're always down in games. That's going to be Justin Jefferson this year. Then after coming out of bye, week 6, they got Detroit, the Rams, it's just like it's ugly. They got an ugly schedule this year. A lot of the teams they playing are going to be top ranked offensive teams. So I'm not worried about Justin Jefferson as much as I am with Jordan Addison. I just don't know if either one of these two quarterbacks can carry two receivers, especially a rookie JJ McCarthy, and he misses practice due to knee soreness. So I didn't even see that earlier. So we'll see what comes out of that. And Sam Darnold, man, we already know who Sam Darnold is. The year that he ended up playing, let's see, that was in 2020. Yeah, it wasn't. It was pretty ugly actually. So, man, I'm just the only person I want on the Vikings this year is Justin Jefferson, and I don't even want any of the running backs. Aaron Jones, I don't want. He's going to face 8-man boxes a lot. He's going to get beat up. Ty Chandler, I don't want. They're talking about them splitting carries. So I'm staying away from that backfield. I'm staying away from the Vikings. Now, I'm trying not to be biased with the Raiders. One, I'm not trying to be biased in two ways. One, I can't stand the Raiders. You guys know that as a Broncos fan. Yuck, Raiders. But two, man, if you watch receivers on Netflix, I just got a huge love for my boy Devontae Adams, man. He's just a good dude. Like he knows the Raiders suck, but it shows him still going out there and putting his best foot forward to compete with the Raiders. You gotta admire a man that can do that. Like when he knows the situation sucks, he's still gonna put on his work shoes and go to work. And there are rumors saying that the Raiders could end up trading him by the end of the season. We don't usually see those kind of things like people are going to be hoping for, but I'm just like I said, I don't feel like I'm gonna get Devontae Adams in rounds 1 or 2. If he ends up falling in round 3, I'll take him. Um, I mean, what do you got to lose? They're going to be down in a few games. They got a few shootouts. Gardner Minshew, when he does play quarterback, when he is a starter, he doesn't hurt receivers. He just doesn't help them put up those huge numbers, but he doesn't hurt receivers. Man, I love this picture of him on Sleeper, man. Dude just like looks like somebody's Uncle Rico or somebody. But like he'll throw for 227 yards, and you'll have those big games like right here the 329, 305. So he's not afraid to throw the ball. That's what I like about Gardner Minshew, and he knows Gardner Minshew's not stupid, man. He knows to get the ball to his playmakers, and he knows Devontae Adams is going to be getting open for him. He's going to stare him down. So I think Devontae Adams is going to get a lot more looks than people are expecting, and I'll take that. Like I said, man, I just love Devontae Adams after watching receivers. I'm not done with the series, but so far what I've seen with Devontae Adams, I have nothing but love for that man and respect. And he likes Taco Bell. Who doesn't like Taco Bell? So shout out to my boy Devontae Adams. Packers and Browns, Jordan Love is doing the Jordan Love thing. Look, I can't stress it enough, guys. Romeo Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs. Get Romeo Dobbs. That is going to be your receiver to have in this Packers offense. Jordan Love's been hyping Romeo Dobbs up. He said Romeo Dobbs is his go-to man. Everything coming out of camp is Romeo Dobbs is the receiver to have. He's the go-to weapon on every situation. Third and long, second and short. It doesn't matter. He's looking at Romeo Dobbs. Don't let this go under the rug. I'm telling you guys, Romeo Dobbs is a receiver to have with the Green Bay Packers. And Jordan Love might be a low round flyer. If you could get him around and later in the draft, I think right now he's going like 9 and 10. He might have him a big season, man. He's been looking good. He looks confident. He got his paycheck and he looks confident. Last year he had a good season. Let's look at his numbers from last year, fantasy wise. My boy Gardner Minshew, Jordan Love. So on my dynasty team, I actually ended up leaving that dynasty league because I just had time to do that as well. But I actually had Jordan Love on that team, and I ended up trading him for a bad bet. But look at this. Last year, wow. I would take a late round flyer on Jordan Love. 22, 20, 25, 18, slowed down week 5 against Las Vegas, had that 7-point outing. I think he had a lot of receivers hurt in that game. He didn't have anybody to really throw the ball to besides Wick. And then coming out of the bye against my Denver Broncos, 16-14. So teams started understanding him a little bit more in the midway point of the season. Changed his game back up and got hot again. 18-18, 26-23. Giants, he had 8. Tampa Bay, 16. Carolina, 23. Minnesota, 28. And Chicago, 17. So he wasn't bad, man. I'm not mad at that at all. So I might take a round flyer on Jordan Love, man. If you could get him later, don't be afraid. Like last year, wow, he finished number 9 overall. Like, come on, man. So Romeo Dobbs, I'm grabbing some Romeo Dobbs this year, guys. When he plays with Jordan Love, let me show you the stats from last year. All right, Romeo Dobbs. Let's see. Last year, 2023. I actually have him on my fantasy team, too. I took him. So he got 18 points, 18, 18, 11, 11, 12, 16, So he's put up some decent receiver two slash flex options last week. Some flash in the pants. 16 against Carolina in week 16, and he had some bad games as well. But he was a little bit banged up last year, but I'm grabbing Romeo Dobbs late if I could grab him, guys. I'm telling you, that's a secret weapon this year. Browns, I don't know what's going on with the Browns right now. And I meant to bring this up with the Jets as well. You got that defensive end for the Jets that want to be traded. I don't know what's going on there. And then you got the Browns and Amari Cooper are just like in a love-hate relationship. I don't know what's going on, but the Browns, rumors are that the Browns were ready to trade Amari Cooper to get Brandon Ayuk, who's a younger receiver. I get it, but Amari Cooper went out and gave his all last year for the Browns, even though he knew they were scrubs. And now they're ready to trade him in. Amari Cooper went on his social media and made a post saying, "I'm okay with that. Trade me if you want. I'm okay with it." And he's not against it or whatever else. And I'm just like, oh, bro, this is not what you want before week one in the NFL season. And especially with Amari Cooper going in rounds 3, some drafts, and rounds 4 at the latest. It's just like, man, what are we getting? And what is Deshaun Watson thinking through this whole thing? He's like, was he promoting them to get Brandon Ayuk to trade Amari Cooper? Does he have a thing against Amari Cooper? For Amari Cooper to say something like that, yeah, go ahead and trade me. Like, is he like, all right, I don't want to play with Deshaun Watson. He's not as good as they say. I don't know, man. There's too many question marks, but I still want to grab Amari Cooper for what he did last season, but it's just like, So let's look at, really quick, we'll look at Amari Cooper's stats from last year. Amari Cooper, last year, let's see, 2023. He finished as a 53 overall receiver. That's not really good, but 16, 24. I think these games were Deshaun Watson. Let's see. I'll pull up Deshaun Watson as well. So, because I know Deshaun Watson missed a few games last year. Not that Watson. Wrong Watson. Watson. Let's see. Deshaun Watson. Here we go. So last year, Deshaun Watson played, let's see, weeks 1 through 3. He did play. So we got weeks 1 through 3. Weeks 1, he only had scored 6. Then 2, 16. So receiver 2 numbers there. Week 3, 24. Receiver 1 numbers. Week 4, Deshaun Watson didn't play. 5 is a bye. Week 6 against San Francisco, he had 13. That wasn't with Deshaun. Week 7, he just had a terrible game. That was a game I think he got injured early. And then he didn't play again to week 9. And week 9 and 10, let's see, weeks 9 and 10, Amari had 24, and then he had 15 against Baltimore that week. And then Deshaun Watson ended up missing some more games. I think he missed the rest of the season. So when he does play with Deshaun Watson, he does get a lot of looks. So there is that. I know a lot of people are bigger on Njoku for what he was doing last year, but we can't forget it. He was doing that with Joe Flacco. He wasn't doing that when Deshaun Watson was playing. Deshaun Watson likes getting the ball out to his receivers and getting the ball downfield. So something to look on there. I don't know what that drama is going on right before season, but that's silly. You got Buccaneers and Bengals. Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow. I told you guys, don't sleep on that man. He's coming. I want to get Jamar Chase as early and often as I can, man. If I could grab him in round 1s, I would definitely grab Jamar Chase. I just think he's going to have a huge year this season. I can't stress enough. I would really grab Jamar Chase, man. Joe Burrow, if you could get him late, you could do a 1-2 punch with him and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's going later in drafts. I think he's going around 7 and 8. So around that Jordan Love range, I think Joe Burrow's coming for an MVP season this year. I think he's going to put up some big numbers, and he's going to be in a lot of shootouts. That division alone is going to bring out a lot of shootouts. You got Baltimore. You have a healthy Baltimore team. You have Pittsburgh that has a newer offense. They got some weapons that could put up some points. They already have their defense there. And then you also have who else am I thinking in their division? Why am I going blank? You got Baltimore. Oh, Browns. So you got Deshaun Watson and the Browns that's going to be popping off as well. So they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Not to mention, let's look at their schedule really quick. So schedule for this year, let's see, 2024. You got regular season, New England. You got Kansas City, shootout. Washington, we'll see with Jaden Daniels. Carolina, we'll see. Baltimore, shootout. New York, we'll see. Cleveland, could be a potential shootout. These divisional games are just hard. They could go one or two ways. They could go a shootout or they could go a defensive battle. But I don't think the Bengals are in any position to do any kind of defensive battles. So I know they had a pretty decent defense last year, but they did lose some pieces again. So I'm not sure about that. Cleveland could be a shootout. Philly, they're going to have a shootout. Vegas might surprise us, put out a good fight. Baltimore shootout. Los Angeles, we'll see. Pittsburgh, we'll see. Dallas, going to be a shootout, and it's in Dallas. Tennessee, we'll see. So it's some iffy games, but I still think Joe Burrow's going to have a big season. A lot of these teams that we're looking at, they don't have that tough defense. So Joe Burrow could go out there and throw for 3 touchdowns, 300 games, and go sit down, and we're happy with those fantasy football numbers. So um, let's see, 49ers. Christian McCaffrey did get banged up a little bit already in the Madden situation. You know he's the Madden cover this year, and we all know what happens with the people that's on the Madden cover. Cough, cough. A lot of people don't know it's not true, but all right, he's already hurt. So that's all I'm saying. And I'm not a Christian McCaffrey knocker at all. I like Christian McCaffrey, but cough, cough. That Madden cover, man. Hey, man, it's been consistent. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And then with all the drama they have going, so there is that also. He has two things going against him. One, the Madden cover. Two, the Super Bowl, the losing Super Bowl team just has bad seasons after they lose the Super Bowl. It just always happens, man. So fantasy football, the team that usually loses the Super Bowl ends up coming back stronger. But in real football and the NFL, it's just we'll see. So I don't know. The only person I want on that team is Debo coming into the season. But other than that, I don't want anything else. I'm cool with Chris McCaffrey. I'll take Debo. Tennessee, man, Will Levis, he made some pretty throws, man. I'm impressed with Will Levis. I wasn't big on him coming out of college, but Will Levis looked pretty dang decent this past weekend, and I've been watching some of his highlights in training camp. That man been throwing some dots. So looking at the receptions here, Treylon Burks, I don't know, man. I was rooting for him coming out of Arkansas, obviously, but DeAndre Hopkins is still banged up. So Calvin Ridley might end up being an alpha receiver until DeAndre Hopkins comes back. So we'll see how that works. Calvin Ridley can put up some numbers until DeAndre Hopkins comes back. Malik Willis made some good runs. I was impressed with him running the ball. I didn't really see too much of him passing. Josh Dobbs was doing his Josh Dobbs, man. He was making runs. It's funny because if you watch Josh Dobbs, every one of his scrambles just look the same. For some reason, this is weird. Like every one of his scrambles, he's just like, it looks the same. It's like at least he's consistent and he does, he gets some yardage. So there's that. Nothing really to see there. I am paying attention to that running back situation. Let's see who got the most carries out of the two of this. Tajay Spears. I think Tajay Spears ran for a touchdown this game. Yeah, he did. And then you have Hassan Hoskins there and Tony Pollard. He had 4 carries. Tajay Spears had 3. But Tajay Spears got that red zone carry, so you want to pay attention to that. Tony Pollard did get the 4 for 35 and the long 24, so we'll pay attention to that situation. It's just another tricky backfield, man. That's why I always say go hero running backs, because you could get receivers later in the drafts now. Receivers are coming a dime a dozen where, that hero running back is hard to come across. Marquise Brown, it says right here, will miss time. He did hurt his shoulder. So there's something to pay attention there. That, to me, drives Xavier Worthy's value up. Xavier Worthy, if you haven't been paying attention, has been making some big plays in camp, and Patrick Mahomes has just been launching that thing downfield to him. He's like, just go, bro. Just go. You want to be Tyreek Hill? Be Tyreek Hill. And he's been throwing that thing downfield. So I'm paying attention to that. I want to say in this game that we did get to see a little bit of, Travis Etienne. We did. Did he catch a touchdown? I thought he scored in this game. Travis Etienne. Yeah, he did. Okay, yeah, he caught a touchdown. I would like to grab some Travis Etienne, man. Rounds 2 or 3. They didn't really add anything to that backfield. You do got Tank Bigsby still there, but Travis Etienne, we saw him heat up last year. Let's pull up his stats, and we're almost done with the podcast or the live feed for today. But Travis Etienne last year, let's see, looking at his stats, 2023, he was pretty consistent, man. He was finished as number 20 overall running back, but 77 yards. He put a 21 week 1. Then week 2 had a slumper. Week 3 running back 2 numbers. 4 bad. Week 5 36. Week 6 23. Week 7 22. Weeks 8 25. Then he slowed down again. Then he got back to running back 2 numbers. Then 17. I'll take this as a RB2, man. I would take this at an RB2, especially those big weeks he does blow up 25 and 13. If you can get your hands on the actual hero running back and then take Travis Etienne as running back 2, I'll take that. And news out of camp has been really good about Travis Etienne. They said he looks more focused. He's catching balls a lot easier. And he was catching balls good last year. So I'm big on Travis Etienne. And Trevor Lawrence is just going to check the ball down. So you know what that is. Seahawks. Yeah, it wasn't much to see in this game. We are waiting to see what's going to happen with Herbert and how he's going to look. Um, I wanted to see how their rookie receiver. Now I do apologize, guys. I meant to go back and watch this game. I wanted to see how their rookie receiver looked, and let's see if he got any catches. Nope, it doesn't. Oh, that's a cool name. Praise. Brendan Rice. Wow, he didn't even get a target in this game. Let me pull him up, guys. So a lot of people are drafting him early. Let's go clear. Justin Herbert. A lot of people are drafting him earlier. Lad McConkey. So did he even get any playing time? Dress doesn't play Saturday. Okay, so they're holding him back. So Lad McConkey, I was big on him coming out of Georgia. I like him as a receiver, and he's been looking good in camp. So I'm ready to see what he looks like. But did not play any snaps. McConkey has been dealing with an undisclosed lower body injury. Okay, that's why. And though he suited up for action Saturday, the rookie second-round pick was ultimately kept off the field. Though McConkey was in uniform to warm up Saturday, he changed his street clothes before kickoff. McConkey's next chance to take the field, blah, blah, blah. So they're banged up right now. You know, they're coming to the season banged up, but a lot of talk has been around Lad McConkey. And there's videos of my man, where is he at here? Quentin Johnson. Was it Josh Palmer? No, Quentin Johnson. Yeah. He's dropping balls again, man. They threw the ball deep to him in one of the training camp videos that I was watching, and he had the touchdown and he ended up dropping it. So I think they're going to try to find McConkey early and often, get him involved in the offense. So we'll see what he looks like. I know people are drafting him earlier and earlier, and we're almost done here. So last few games, and we're not going to click on any of these. So somebody look out for, they said it's Spencer Rattler. I was big on Spencer Rattler because I saw the QB1 video when he was coming out of high school, and I just liked him from that point on. He ended up having a really up and down, tumultuous college career. He couldn't really catch on. He moved around a couple of teams, finished with South Carolina, and then they didn't do too well. But so far in preseason and training camp, I've heard a lot of good things. Uh-oh, we unplugged. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But so far in training camp, I've heard a lot of good things about Spencer Rattler. He's looked really good. Now, Derek Carr is still the man there. I don't see Spencer Rattler beating him out too early. But if Derek Carr looks like he did last season, where it was just like, what is this? You know, we could see Spencer Rattler come in and start starting some games, especially if they start losing. Alvin Kamara, man, he looks like he wants to run the ball hard, but those holes still ain't opening. They're still not opening up. Team defenses are still not respecting them. And then we're talking about the Cardinals here, who they have a decent defense, but they're not one of the top notch. And they were shutting down Alvin Kamara. I'm worried about Alvin Kamara. I don't think he's going to get traded or anything, but I think he's just a good running back that's going to be wasting away on a bad offense again this season. Let's see. We'll see. I don't know. I want to look up some more news on them. I said I wasn't going to click on any more of these games, but Alvin Kamara 2 for 3. Derek Carr did play, and look at that. Just nothing there. Nothing to see there. Spencer Rattler ran for a touchdown. A.T. Perry, man, getting looks again. Samson Nakua. I wonder if that's Puka's brother. Samson Nakua. I did not know there's another Nakua in the league. Samson Nakua goes airborne for a TD. I think this is. Wow. Okay. The Nakuas are coming in strong. Let's see what he ends up doing. I like that name, Samson, biblical. So, but Chris Olave is the only person I'm looking for on this team. All that being said, I'm just trying to get Chris Olave when I can get him. If I can get him in the fourth, I know some drafts he's been going in the third, but if I can get Chris Olave in the fourth, man, I'm happy. I'm excited with that. So I got a few players I'm looking for in the fourth. Chris Olave is one of them. My Denver Broncos, Bo Nix looked really good. Anthony Richardson, we didn't see too much of him. He was decent. I'm not drafting him as high as everybody else. I know a lot of people are taking Anthony Richardson in like rounds 4 and 3 and 4. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know, the talent is there, but we only saw a limited amount of games with Anthony Richardson last year. And then when he did play, let's see, Anthony Richardson. I want him to be good because, you know, we got the same last name. But other than that, let's see, 2 drives in preseason opener. You know, he didn't do too much anything. 4 passes for 25 yards and Russ once for 1 yard. But when he did play, let's see what numbers he put up. So 21, 17. He had that 27-point outing where he threw for 2 touchdowns. So, you know, I don't know. When he does play, he has some pretty decent stats. But I just don't know because even in that game with against the Rams, I'm pretty sure he got hurt that game. Or no, he got hurt against Houston. He ended up missing the Baltimore game. Played the game against the Rams, ended up getting hurt the following week against Tennessee. So can he take a licking like that, man? And I don't know, man. So we'll see, man. I want him to be good, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Now, my boy Stetson Bennett, you see that guy threw his final touchdown, but something I want to talk about before we wrap this up. Somebody that I'm paying attention to. Everybody's looking at Puka Nacua this year and falling asleep at the wheel when it comes to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has looked phenomenal in the postseason. Everybody says he looks like the old Cooper Kupp the year that he won the Triple Crown and he ended up being the Super Bowl MVP. Cooper Kupp looks phenomenal. Guys, we have a healthy Cooper Kupp. We have a healthy quarterback. And Puka Nacua is already a little bit banged up. I'm trying to grab Puka Nacua. I'm trying to grab Cooper Kupp. Especially if y'all are going to let him fall to the third round to me, I'm trying to grab Cooper Kupp. It is a little risky trying to grab him in the third, but if I have to, I will. Now, if I got to grab him in the second too, I'm going to grab him. Because if Cooper Kupp is looking how they say he's been looking, he's getting a lot of balls thrown his way, I'm taking a chance. I'm going after Cooper Kupp. So don't sleep on Cooper Kupp, guys. That's all I got to say. Cowboys, I don't know what's going on with them either. You got CeeDee Lamb deleting all this stuff from the Cowboys. Jerry Jones backtracking on what he said, where he wasn't in a rush to get CeeDee Lamb paid. CeeDee Lamb said what he said on social media, and then Jerry Jones came back and like, oh no, we miss you, CD. We miss you, man. Come back, baby, come back. Bottom roses and stuff, but I don't know, man. It's a lot of drama with receivers this offseason. You got Brandon Ayuk, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Amari Cooper. It's just a lot of drama going on. And it's crazy because two of those receivers are tied to the Cowboys. So I don't know. But regardless, man, blessings, love, and blessings to all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And if you sat this long through the podcast, hour-long live stream, I really appreciate you guys. I told you we're going to get busy this year. I'll have my notes ready. We'll be coming live on the podcast on Thursdays. And I'll be getting back with you on another live stream after we see some preseason games this weekend. Other than that, man, God is good, man. Jesus is king, and I can't stress enough. I love you all, man. Peace and love and blessings. Stay safe, stay humble, and stay loving, man. With that being said, it's your boy Dub C. Peace.